on this video I'm going to show you the divisibility rules. Let's jump right into it. Okay, so the first one we have is 2. If the last digit ends with 0 or an even number, like 2, 4, 6, 8, then that number is divisible by 2. So here are some examples: 20, 18, and 366. The next one here I'm going to show you is going to be the number 3. So if the sum of the digits add up to 3, then the whole number is divisible by 3. Okay, so let me give you some examples right here. Okay, so for example, 9, 342, and 42, and 561. So I wanted to show you here. So like 9, of course, that's divisible by 3. 342, so it's like 3 plus 4 is 7 plus 2 is 9. Since the sum of the digits is a number that is divisible by 3, then the whole number is divisible by 3. 42, 4 plus 2 is 6. Since 6 is divisible by 3, the whole number is divisible by 3. 561, this is divisible by 3. Okay, and that's because 5 plus 6 is 11 plus 1 is 12. 12 is divisible by 3, so therefore the whole number is divisible by 3. All right, let's go to number 4 now. So for number 4, this one is actually pretty easy. So if it can be divided by 2 twice, then it's divisible by 4. So here are some examples: 24, 2016, 2020, 2024. I actually picked these numbers because I know that, for example, 2016, I know that's divisible by 4, and the way you know it is you divide it by 2 twice. That's also a good technique for you to know, like if you're finding which year is a leap year. So if I can divide it by 2 twice, then it's divisible by 4. And that's one way you can find out if it's a leap year too. Like I said, 2016 divided by 4. 2020 divided by 4. So the next leap year for us, we're in 2021, so it's going to be 2024. All right, so let's go with number 5. So 5 is pretty easy, but it's still important to talk about it. So if the last digit ends with 0 or 5, then the whole number is divisible by 5. Okay, so for example, 60, that's 12 times 5. See how it ends with 0. 155, it ends with 5. We know it's divisible by 5. 625, that's divisible by 5. That's pretty easy. Okay, so now number 6. So number 6, if the number is divisible by 2 and 3. Okay, so for example, 12, right? 12, 18, 108. Okay, 18 is also divisible by 2 and 3. How do I know that this is divisible by 3? Because if I add the digits, a plus 1 is 9. How do I know that this is divisible by 3? Well, a plus 1 plus 0 is 9. And I know that 9 is divisible by 3, so therefore this has to be divisible by 3. Okay, and it's divisible by 2 as well. So I'll probably do here divided by 2 first. Okay, but regardless, it is divisible by 6. Okay, so 7 is a little tough one. Okay, so let's talk about this one a little bit. So for number 7, how do you know when a number is divisible by 7? Just cross the last digit. Okay, so cross the last digit, double it, and subtract it. If the new number is divisible by 7, then the original number is divisible by 7. Okay, so I had to demonstrate that. So this one's saying, okay, so like I said, it's a little tough one, but it's okay. So we're going to do cross off the last digit. So for example, this one, right? Double it and subtract it, okay, from whatever you end up with. So if I cross out the 8, I'm left with 9. And then they say double it. Well, 8 times 2 is 16. Well, I can do 9 minus 16. Well, I know that's going to be 7, right? So, well, negative 7, but it doesn't matter. You still end up with the multiple of 7. So if the new number is divisible by 7, right, whether it's negative or positive, it's still divisible by 7. Therefore, the original number is divisible by 7. But it's okay. We'll do another one. So like this one here, for example, 133, right? So 133, for this one here, we can cross that out. Why not? 3 times 2 is 6. Subtract that from 13. And this, I think this is a little more clear. right? So 3 times 2, that's equals to 6. Subtract. So minus 6. Oh, look at that, you guys. That's 7. So I know 7 is divisible by 7. So 133 is divisible by 7. All right. 147. So I try to see if I can do this by 3. 7 plus 4 is 11. Plus 1 is 12. So I know this is divisible by 3, but we're doing by 7 right now. Here, this one's 6, 7, 8. 9 plus 4 and 5. So there's not really a pattern here. So like you see here, 9 plus 4 is 13. 13 plus 5 is 18. I know this is divisible by 3 as well, but we're doing 7. So how would I do that one? So let me do it over here on the side. So I'm going to do 147, okay? So not just because it ends with 7, but we're going to apply this. Cross that out. Oh, look at that, you guys. Cross that out. And that's going to be 7 times 2 is 14. And 14 minus 14 is 0. If I do 7 times 2 is 14, right? So take out the 7, and 7 times 2 is 14. Well, if I can just take out the 7, I know that 14 is divisible by 7, so I'll just stop there. 161. So cross that out. 1 times 2 is 2, so I subtract that, minus 2, and then I get 14. Since 14 is divisible by 7, 161 is divisible by 7. Let's do one more, okay? So we're going to do 945. And I think this is going to be more clear right here. So take that away, times it by 2. So that's 10. 94 minus 10 will be 84. This is divisible by 7, but let's say for instance that you cannot see that it's divisible by 7. Well, I know because 7 times 10 is 70. 7 times 12 is 84 because I add 7 and 7. That's going to be 84. 7 times 12 is 84. So, I mean, but if you didn't know, you can keep going and say, well, let me take that off, right? Take out the 4, and then 4 times 2 is 8, and 8 minus 8 will be 0. Because there's 0 remainder, that means that the number is divisible by 7. So you can kind of use that as well. So if you end up with 0, that means that the number prior to that would have been divisible by 7. So, but you can actually stop right here because it's divisible by 7. And now we're going to go to the next one, which is number 8. So if the number can be divided by 4 and 2. So if it can be divided by 4 and 2, then the whole number is divisible by 8, okay? Because if you divide it by 4 and 2, it's like saying 4 divided by 4 times 2, which is 8. So, or you can also look at this if the last 3 digits are divisible by 8. If you have a 2-digit number, then you can't really tell. So like for 2-digit numbers, I will use divisible by 4 and 2. But 3-digit numbers, if the last 3 digits are divisible by 8. So 136. 920, for example, okay, and you just divide it by 4 and 2, and then that's divisible by 8. All right, so for number 9, so if the sum of the digits, kind of like the one for 3, if the sum of the digits is divisible by 3, so kind of like the one for 3 that you add up the digits, and if the sum of the digits is equals to a number that's divisible by 3, then the whole number will be divisible by 3. The same concept applies for 9 here. So you can do, well, 5 plus 3 is 8 plus 1 is 9. Hey, look at that. So because the sum of the digits equals to 9, then the whole number is divisible by 9. 135 divided by 9, that's actually 15. Okay, so this one here, 252, well, 5 plus 2 is 7 plus 2 is 9. So because of the sum of the digits equals to 9, then the whole number is divisible by 9. Same thing applies here. 2 plus 3 is 5 plus 4 is 9. So therefore 234 is divisible by 9. And even if I were to swap the numbers here, so look right here. So 234, I'm going to write this as 432, right? The order won't matter in a sense that you still have a number that's divisible by 3. Of course, the answer is different, but it's still divisible by 9. Okay, so here, divisible by 9, divisible by 9. 4 plus 3 is 7, 7 plus 2 is 9. Here I have 2 plus 3 is 5 plus 4 is 9. Regardless of how you add it, you still have a number that's divisible by 9. Okay, hopefully this is helpful. We're going to do 3 more, and then we're going to be done. Okay, so for number 10, okay, so for number 10, if the last digit, okay, so if the last digit is 0, this is a pretty easy one, then it's divisible by 10, like 100, 220, 680, and of course you can come up with more, right? But if the last digit is 0, then the number is divisible by 10. Number 11. So for 11 is a really good one, you guys, and this is like one of my favorite ones on how to know if a number is divisible by 11. So let me give you some hints on how to know like if a number is divisible by 11. So this is how you do it, okay? So subtract the digit from the number form by the remaining digits. If the number is divisible by 11, then the whole number is divisible by 11. So once again, subtract the last digit from the form by the remaining digits. In other words, subtract the last number, subtract the last digits from the remaining numbers, and if that number is divisible by 11, then the whole thing is divisible by 11. Okay, so let me give you a couple examples so you guys can see how this is applicable to a number. So let's start with 363. Okay, and then 561, and I'll probably do one more, 781. We'll stop there, and then we'll do more after. So there's two things that you can see here. One, the easiest way to see if you have a 3-digit number, you can just do add up the two corners here. So if you add like 3 plus 3 and it gives you that middle number, 3 plus 3 is 6, that number is divisible by 11. 5 plus 1, that is 6, that number is divisible by 11. 7 plus 1 is 8, that number is divisible by 11. The problem is when you have a number that doesn't give you the middle number, but it's still a number that's divisible by 11. I'll talk about that in a little bit. But for now, you can kind of use that, okay? But how does this apply? Okay, so this is one way you can tell. The other way will be by you subtracting the last digit from the number form. So I'll subtract 3. Look how this one works, you guys. This is really cool. So I have 363, right? They want me to subtract this number from 36. Well, if I do that, I get 33. Well, sure enough, 33 is divisible by 11 because that's 11 times 3. So I know that that's divisible by 11. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to do that right here. 561. Okay. 1 subtracted from 56, that's 55. Oh, I know 55 is divisible by 11. That's 11 times 5. Look at this one right here. That's pretty easy to see as well. 781. Subtract the 1 from 78. That's 77. Well, that's 11 times 7, 77. So that's a really good trick, right? So let me show you another example so you guys can see. All right, and I think these problems right here are worth talking about it. Let me show you here. So we already did this one here. I know that's divisible by 11. I know that's divisible by 11. I know that's divisible by 11. Here I can still use my same property that I told you earlier. Add up the two corners or the two endpoints. If it gives you the middle number, it's divisible by 11. So 6 plus 3 is 9. The problem is this one here, right? Well, 9 plus 9 is not 7. But this number is divisible by 11. Well, how do I know that? Well, here's the other method that they're saying, right? So subtract the last digit from the remaining digits. So let's take, for example, 979. Okay, 979. They say subtract this last number from the remaining digits. Well, 97 minus 9, well, that's 88, right? 88. Well, I know I know 88 is divisible by 11 because that's 11 times 8. So I know this works. So you see how this one is applicable now. This rule that I'm giving you here is valuable because you can't really just use the 9 plus 7 is 9 plus 9 is 7, right? You can't really do the two outers to give you the middle. So the shortcut here, it doesn't really work for that number. And what if you have a 4-digit, right? You can't really apply my shortcut that I give you. 9 plus 2 is, I don't know, how would I do that, right? So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this method right here. So I'm going to do this one and show you that it's divisible by 11 by subtracting the last number from that one. So here I have 262, right, minus 9. Okay, 262 minus 9 is going to be 253, right? And now you're like, okay, I have to do it again. Or you can think of, oh, wait a minute, I can use my first method here, and you say, 2 plus 3 is 5. So this is divisible by 11. So you can actually stop there and just know that that's divisible by 11. If for some reason you still want to keep going, right, you say, well, I don't know that 253 is divisible by 11. You can do it again. Take that number from, take this number from the remaining digits here. So you can say 25 minus 3, 22. Well, I know 22 is divisible by 11. That's 11 times 2. All right. So regardless, it will still work. All right, so hopefully you're finding value on this, and if you are, please go ahead and give it a like. That way the more people can view this content. All right, I'm almost done here. I'm gonna do the last one here. All right, so the last one I'm gonna talk about is 12. So how do you know if the number is divisible by 12? So if the number is divisible by 3 and 4. So why? Because if you divide it by 3 and 4, that's like dividing by 3 times 4, which is 12. So here's an example: 144, 192, and 444. All right. Well, hopefully this tutorial on rules of divisibility was helpful, and if it is, please give it a like and share with friends. Let them know about this video, so that way this content can help more students and more people. Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. This is Mario, and I will see you guys on the next video.